going on, everybody? Coach Brandon Krause here. Got a cool one for you today. A little discussion. Got some bullet points up there. What am I talking about? I'm talking about hitting hard, right? This is a goal of every boxer, potential boxer, people that walk into the gym, guys that have been training forever. Everybody wants to hit harder, right? They say power is the great equalizer, and this is the truth, right? So you do want to be able to do your techniques as hard as possible and have a damaging repercussions to those punches, all right? So let's talk about some ideas that go into hitting harder, all right? So first up here I have born, not made, right? And people around the boxing game know this, that punchers are what they say, they're born, they're not made. And this is the truth. This concept's a little bit difficult to get across to people that don't know boxing, but let's say I had 100 boxers, equal body types, equal weight, right? Same type of training. For some reason, one or two of these guys or girls would just hit so much harder than the other. And it'd be something that you couldn't necessarily put a physiological rationale behind, right? But that is kind of how it goes, right? So that is true, right? If you're not born a puncher, you're not going to die a puncher. But that does not mean that you can't get better at your individual power, all right? So second thing I got up here is bad intentions, all right? What do I mean by that? I mean, you have to be throwing your punches to do damage, all right? To hit hard, this is going to sound crazy, you have to try to hit hard. and I'm laughing because, you know what? This is the case for so many fighters out there that they don't put enough effort, they don't put enough energy into the punches that they're throwing. They throw at 60%, 70%, and they don't understand why they're not hurting people with their punches because they just don't put enough of the intensity necessary to really have a damaging blow. So you want to hit hard, you got to try to hit hard, all right? It ain't rocket science, all right? Here I have aim deep, clinch fist. These guys kind of go together, all right? You're going to throw a high committed shot to somebody. You're going to intend on having a repercussion to your punch. Well, you have to punch into your target, not at your target, all right? Let's say you were punching me in the head. Well, you wouldn't punch me in the head. You'd be aiming for the center of my skull, preferably, all right? So you want to aim into the shot. And clenched fist, this goes into that because that's the last link of the chain, and you better have a sturdy surface in which to make contact with that tightly clenched fist, okay? Here I have one that could go basically on any bullet point for anything we'd ever talk about, but you need to get better. The better you are at your techniques, the more potential power you're going to have at them because you've mastered those, right? And now instead of concentrating on how do I do this technique, what's the proper form, weight, balance, what so have you, now you can concentrate on upping the fiber recruitment, the muscle fibers, the motor units necessary to accomplish this particular goal, right? So you want to, I mean, this is true with anything, but you want to get better at your boxing, all right? Down here I have another get. I have get stronger. All right, I know this is somewhat a debatable thing in boxing, but people know I'm an advocate of strength training, strength and conditioning for fighters, and this is true. That the stronger your body is, the more force production you're going to be able to have. I mean, that just makes total sense, right? So you want to get stronger. I didn't say bigger, right? I didn't say you have to gain more weight, but you do have to get stronger. And you know what? Something that getting stronger does as well is it helps you handle more training, and it helps you handle more intense training. And those are going to be factors in you hitting harder as well. Gain experience. All right, what do I mean by this? They call them knockout artists for a reason because so much goes into scoring a knockout. You have to not only have the power to accomplish it, but you have to know when is the appropriate time to commit like that, to kind of throw all your eggs into one basket. And you're never going to have that skill if you don't gain experience and know when is the proper time to really sell out on a punch and try to get one of those vicious consequences. So gain experience, right? And the last down here I have, deal with reality, something, we all have to do eventually, right? In my head, I'm 6'3" and I have long flowing hair, but that's not the reality, all right? You have to deal with it. And if you just keep training and you're doing all these things that I have up here on the board and you just still don't find yourself being one of these knockout artists, having a punch that could potentially make it an early night in the office, then you got to deal with it. And you're going to have to adjust your style to match that. There's plenty of successful boxers, Hall of Fame boxers, that were not knockout artists, that did not have a big punch, but nonetheless found ways to be successful. So that's what you got to do, all right? So, of course, this is not everything that goes into hitting hard, all right? But I think these are some good bullet points that you can kind of hammer out in your head. And so take this in, study, and of course, like and subscribe.